The Tampa Bay Buccaneers could be a sleeper team in this coming season, and I'll tell you exactly why I think that in just a second. But super quick, massive shout out to Strassi for the suggestion of today's video. Go drop him a sub, their link is in the description. And if you want a shout out just like that one, all you gotta do is let me know what team to do next. And then of course, I'll give you a shout out, I'll rebuild the team you want me to, and it helps me know what y'all want to see, so it's a win-win-win. But we have been literally tripling like every like and sub goal lately. This might be crazy, but let's see if we can get to 4,500 subs. Unless we're already at it, then I don't know. I mean, the last goal was like 4K. We're almost at 4,300 as of the time of recording this, so if you want to be an OG while you still can be one, the time is running out, then be sure to subscribe. Plus, if you like rebuilds, you're in the right place, because that's literally all I do, so it'll just help you see more of my banger rebuilds. And also, let's shoot for 300 likes. We easily shattered that in the last video, but if you like the video, we will easily destroy it, so be sure to drop a like. I appreciate it a ton. Helps push these videos to more people. I'm so happy with all the growth lately, so thank you all so much for that, and I'm glad y'all are enjoying these rebuilds. But that's enough plugging. I'm really excited to talk about this team, so get your drinks, get your snacks, get whatever, sit back and relax, and let me tell you what I think about this Buccaneers team. I think the Buccaneers could be better than people might expect this year. Now, that window is definitely closing because a lot of their team is a little bit older, but assuming this team stays healthy, I think they could still be pretty good. I mean, people forget they still have really good players like Levante David, Shaq Barrett, Vita Vea, Jamel Dean, Antoine Winfield, Tristan Wirfs, Ryan Jensen, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I mean, this team still has a lot of studs. The problem with this team is where they have holes, they have massive holes. Pause. Like right tackle, tight end, running back, potentially. Third corner, maybe defensive line if one of these players goes down. Edge, maybe. Like, this is not a deep team at all. So if and when players get injured, it's gonna get ugly real quick. But if this team does stay fully healthy, like I said, they have some studs, and they could do pretty well. Obviously, the point of this rebuild, Baker Mayfield, has shown in the past that he can be like a top 10-ish quarterback. You don't expect him to be that, and you don't even really need him to be that at all. If he can even be like decent, I don't necessarily think this will be a playoff team because I do expect them to get injured, but all I'm saying is they could be set up decently well for the future if by some miracle Baker does end up being their franchise guy, or at least a good bridge guy for whatever rookie quarterback they might draft next year. And I like what they did in the draft a lot. I mean, Kalijah Cansey technically has like the upside to be almost an Aaron Donald. Is he gonna be that? I can almost guarantee not, but could turn into a good player, especially learning from Vita Vea. And then they also have rookies like Yaya Diaby, Cody Mauch on the offensive line. They did definitely add some good players through the draft. So this might be a challenging rebuild, but at least we do have some young players. But speaking of that, let's actually get into the rebuild. Enough talking about the team, and I'll see y'all at the midseason point of year number 1. Ooh, we actually have a wide receiver mentorship for Trey Palmer. I don't know what our scheme is, I'm gonna be honest. I think I switched it. I don't remember what I switched it to. Well, let's just go with the safe one. We'll go medium routes. That's what I always go with when I don't know what the scheme is, which is very often because I'm stupid. Sounds good to me. Okay, well, at the midseason point of year number 1, we're only 3-4, which, hey, it could be worse. We could be like the Ravens with a better team, yet only 2-5. Gotta love Madden Sim. Also, hold on, I saw something interesting. This doesn't have anything to do with the rebuild, really. I want to point out how terrible this game is. Okay, he's not here anymore. Never mind. It was Anthony Averett. You can probably find this in the game yourself. I don't know whose face they put for him, but he kind of looks like a serial killer or something. The Ravens just reminded me of that because he was a Raven, but we do have a hefty amount of re-signings here. I do know that, including Mike Evans, Antoine Winfield, Devin White, Ryan Neal, lots of stuff starters here. Actually, Jamel Dean shouldn't be here. He got a contract in real life. You know what? We'll see if he takes this. If not, we'll just like manually re-sign him. Okay, he does. That's fine. I didn't feel like plugging his contract in. I don't know if it was more or less, but it is what it is. But yeah, I went through the effort of actually like having to update their contracts to where they would be in real life, because Madden, multi-billion-dollar company, apparently can't do that. Let's start with Antoine Winfield, one of the best safeties in the NFL. We'll try 6 years, 88.2 mil, and he resigns. We love to see that. Devin White, look, I'm gonna be honest, I think Devin White is one of the most overrated players in the NFL, but he's only 24 here. He's a fine enough overall. He's super cheap. He's not gonna want this money in real life. He's probably gonna want one of the highest paid linebacker contracts in the NFL, and he's just nowhere near worth that. At least I don't think. I don't even know if we really need to up it. I don't know why I did that, but it works. 4 years, 22.8 mil. He resigns. Ryan Neal, I do think will be a stud this year, finally getting to start. I hate that the Seahawks let him go because I know one of their safeties are going to get hurt, and I'm going to be like, oh, we really could have used Ryan Neal right now, but I guess it's good he's getting a starting opportunity. We'll resign him. 3 years, 12.6 mil. Sounds good to me. And I do want Mike Evans back. He's just not interested, so that makes things kind of tough. I mean, worst case scenario, we can just tag him. A very interesting thing here is Baker Mayfield. We have to resign. Oh, he's been really good so far this year. 15 touchdowns, only 2 picks. We can afford to go player friendly. 4 years, 41.6 mil. That seems cheap for like a starting quarterback, but fair enough. We'll take it. And Levante David, I do want back, but he's going to regress after the year, so I'll just pay him after the year. Everyone else looks like a bunch of backups. I guess we can re-sign Greg Gaines too. I mean, we might as well. So that was a ton of re-signings. Still a couple more to go. But with that, let's get to the end of year number 1, and hopefully we can finish pretty strong. Okay, well, in year number 1, we unfortunately finished 7-10. Now that's fair. That's probably about where this team will finish in real life. They could be better, but I wouldn't bank on that necessarily. Let's check out some of the season stats. So Baker Mayfield was solid. Well, this would be a really good season for real life, but it's pretty good here. 5,000 yards, 34 touchdowns, 14 picks is pretty high. Not a great completion percentage. We might bring someone else in. We did pay him, but we didn't pay him like a crazy amount of money for a quarterback, so we'll see what happens. Rashad White was not good. Less than 800 yards, only 3.5 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns. Not great. Sean Tucker, for some reason, had 7 touchdowns. He was probably our power back. That's probably why. Receiving Chris Godwin with 1,700 yards and 13 touchdowns, 1,200 for Mike Evans. Only 5 touchdowns, though. I feel like those should be flipped, but fair enough. Kate Otten was good. Blocking, ooh. Nobody was really good here. Tristan Wirfs was okay, and Cody Mauk was okay. That's about it. Devin White led the team in tackles with 145, tackles for loss, 18 for Vita Vea, good amount for the whole team, and sacks, 12 for Shaquille Barrett, 9.5 for Kalijah Cansey as a rookie. He was a stud. 7 for Vea and Joe Tryon, and then interceptions, 2 for Jamel Dean, and then 1 for a lot of players. But MVP goes to Josh Allen here, who just got announced as the cover athlete or whatever they call it in real life, which it feels a little random. I mean, his last season wasn't necessarily like special for him or anything. I felt like someone like Jalen Hurts would have made more sense because it was like a big breakout year, or like I don't know. But I mean, apparently Madden just loves him. He wins MVP every year here too, so I don't know. They're bricked up for Josh Allen, just like I'm bricked up for your mother. But no Buccaneers here. Offensive player of the year goes to the white boy Cooper Kupp. Chris Godwin at number 3. Julio Jones on the Vikings up there. Okay. Isaiah Simmons wins defensive player of the year. What? That's a hell of a top 2. Isaiah Simmons and Preston Smith. Gross. Shaquille Barrett at number 10. Offensive rookie of the year goes to Bijan Robinson. Kate Otten at number 10. Defensive rookie of the year goes to Aiden Hutchinson. Kalijah Cansey at 2. Really? Kalijah Cansey didn't win it? What did Aiden Hutchinson do? Because when I rebuilt the Lions, he didn't even get close to that. Yeah, 13.5 sacks, 14 tackles for loss. I think the most he got was like 8.5 when I rebuilt the Lions, so Madden just hates me apparently. It couldn't be because I talk so much shit about it. Maybe I should stop. Maybe it hears me. I don't know. We do have a hefty amount of upgrades here though. Didn't I just say the word hefty? I just like pick a word going into a rebuild subconsciously and I say it like 50 times throughout the rebuild. I don't know why. But good amount of upgrades there. And with that, let's actually get into kind of rebuilding this team. And let's get into the offseason. That might be the stupidest Super Bowl I have ever seen in this game. The Broncos destroy the Rams 49-28. How do either of those teams make it to the Super Bowl? I mean, the Rams have maybe the worst roster in the NFL. I think they do get saved by having a good coaching staff, but no, just no. And I guess the Broncos could be there if Russell Wilson plays, you know, how he did in Seattle, but even then, I don't think that's quite a Super Bowl team. Maybe, but I don't know. Yeah, that's probably the worst Super Bowl I've ever seen in this game, and that's saying a lot. But for the rest of the re-signings here, unfortunately, Levante David is not interested anymore, but honestly, he's old at this point. I don't want to pay him for 4 years. I would do like 2 years, 25 mil. He actually takes it. Okay, I'm kind of surprised he did, but I'm fine with that. And then Mike Evans, I would rather just tag him, to be honest. We'll offer him neutral, but he's probably not going to take it, so yeah, we'll just tag him. 1 year, 23.7 mil. I'm pretty sure that's almost cheaper than what he was asking for. So we'll definitely take it, and with that, let's get into free agency. In free agency, I really think we're only going to do one thing. We're going to go after Tony Pollard. Now, obviously, our run game was awful last year, so we want to upgrade that, and Tony Pollard's a decent receiving back. This scheme uses running backs mostly for receiving, so it works out. I was hoping Kareem Hunt would be here, but apparently whatever team picked him up did re-sign him, which is a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. Tony Pollard isn't the best in simulation as like a pure runner, but hopefully he is good as a receiving back, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully we can sign him. Let's see if he does sign, and it looks like he does, so that's a pretty big addition. We'll definitely take it. All right, here in the draft, the Bears end up with the number 1 overall pick once again. We don't pick until number 9, but it is definitely good to have a top 10 pick with already a pretty decent team. Let's simulate there. Hopefully some of the players I did want are still available. I don't know fully which ones I want the most, but I did have some options. Holy shit. It's not the most flashy top 10 pick ever, but it is maybe very important. George Van Buren looks ridiculous. He's a right tackle from Auburn. He's 6'6", 314, 22 years old. Ran a 4.81 at the combine and a 4.74 at his pro day. 36 reps at the combine. Elite speed, jumping, change of direction, agility, and acceleration, and great strength. Borderline elite strength. His ratings are really good. He doesn't have much power to his game, which is a little surprising because he does have good strength, but overall, I think he looks like a good player. We obviously need tackle help pretty desperately, so let's take him. Of course, hidden dev. If he had normal, I would have cried. But 76 speed, 89 strength, 81 jumping for a lineman is pretty ridiculous. With our next pick, I think I want to go Rayshawn Merritt. He's listed as a zone corner, and we don't know what his zone coverage is, but he has a man coverage, so you would assume he at least has C, maybe B zone coverage. Has good speed for sure, good strength, good awareness, just looks like a good player overall. And we obviously need a third corner, so let's take him. Normal dev, unfortunately, but could be a good overall. We'll see. And with this next pick, I think I want to go with another offensive lineman. Our offensive line was really bad, and we lost Matt Filer. Does this guy look that good, though? His power's bad for sure, but I think his finesse will be good. I just think his strength is good, which somehow 35 reps is only 5th for guards that are still left, just right guards. So apparently there's some freaks in this class. But let's take him. Hidden dev, 89 strength, 75 agility is kind of crazy. Seems like another good pick. But with that, I'm just going to simulate the rest of it out, and we'll see what the CPU can do. All right, so here's a recap of the draft. I definitely thought George Van Buren would be a better overall player, but obviously the hidden dev will help that. Hopefully it's superstar, but more than likely it's just star. I mean, superstar linemen are very rare, it seems like. But if there's any player that should have it, it's probably him, because he is an athletic freak. Of course, no power to his game really at all, but I mean, that's fine. Looks like a good player regardless. Rayshawn Merritt, of course, no dev trait, but he does look like a good player and will start for us. 73 overall, solid speed and acceleration, decent coverage ability, just an overall well-rounded looking player. And Tyron Farmer also looks very, very good. I think he's going to play left guard. We'll keep Cody Malk at right guard, move Farmer to left. But yeah, he looks like a good player, good strength, all that. I did take a few flyer picks. I did end up taking all of these. Those didn't go very well. So overall, I'm happy with the draft, though. We at least got 3 starters out of it, so sounds good to me. But here's a look at the team heading into year number 2 of the rebuild. Honestly, it looks a lot better already. We didn't really downgrade anywhere on offense. We only upgraded. We added a few offensive linemen. Tony Pollard. Cade Otton actually got star dev, which is kind of nice. Could develop into a legit tight end for us. We'll see. Chris Godwin got X Factor, so we'll definitely take that. The team overall is looking very nice. And then on defense, not much changed here. I mean, we added Merritt through the draft. Did Barrett get X Factor, or did he have X Factor? I can't remember. And Devin White got Superstar, which is cool. So a lot of dev ups this year. We'll definitely take that, though. I do maybe want to upgrade at safety eventually, just because Ryan Neal's like 27, only normal devs, so it might be good to upgrade there eventually. And maybe another edge, because Joe Tryon isn't like amazing or anything. But we'll worry about that when we have to worry about that. So with that, let's get to the midseason point of year 2, and hopefully we can do pretty well. Alright, well, at the midseason point of year 2, we are chilling at 5-2. Now, somehow the Falcons are 7-0. I don't understand that, but we are definitely doing pretty well for ourselves. I actually want to see, are there any dev traits revealed yet? Oh, okay. George Van Buren does have Superstar Dev. Okay. I did say if any lineman could have Superstar Dev, it would be him, and I was apparently correct. Also, it does help that he got like a mentorship in the preseason, so it brought him up from like a 74 to a 77, now a 78. So that's massive. Farmer only has star, but that's what I expected anyways. And I think those were the only hiddens. So we're definitely looking good, but what do we have for re-signings? Oh yeah, Mike Evans still, Ryan Jensen, but I mean, that's really it. And honestly, Ryan Jensen was pretty awful last year. How's he doing this year though? Better, but not like amazing. Mike Evans, I obviously want back, just he's not interested. We can offer him 5 years, 114. He doesn't take it, so we'll probably have to tag him again, unless he does eventually re-sign, but that's all there really is for us to do here, so let's get to the end of the season. Alright, well, if you've seen one of my rebuilds before, you know why we're here. Super quick, if you haven't already, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. It helps out a ton. Plus, if you're enjoying the video, it'll just recommend more of my videos to you. What did I set the goal at? 300 likes and like 4,500 subs? Well, we're almost at 4,500 subs already as of the time of recording this, so maybe that was a little low, but it is what it is. Subscribe if you want to be an OG while you still can be one. But the offense is looking fairly nice, and then here is a look at the defense. We're up to an 85 overall team, 85 offense, 85 defense. But in year number 2, we finished 10-7, making the playoffs. Now, we're not going to jump into the playoff games yet. It's still only year 2. In years 3 and 4, I usually do that. But let's check out some of the season stats. Baker Mayfield was fine for Madden. Again, real life, this would be a good year. But for Madden, it's not great. Almost 4,800 yards, 37 touchdowns is good for sure, but the picks are high and the completion percentage is low. It sounds good to, or it sounds crazy to not call this season good. It's just, I know a lot of QBs do better. Like, yeah. Tony Pollard was actually good in the run game, 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. Receiving, almost 1,400 yards for Godwin, 12 touchdowns. Russell Gage was our number 2 receiver with 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns. Oh yeah, wait, didn't they change the Buccaneers playbook? So I guess, apparently it doesn't use Tony Pollard as the receiving back as much, but he was a good runner, so it was still worth it. Blocking, Van Buren was bad, Ryan Jensen was awful, but the rest of the line was pretty good. And on defense, Devin White, of course, led the team in tackles once again. Tackles for loss, 21 for Vita Vea, 12 for Barrett. And then sacks, 13 for Vita Vea led the team, 10.5 for Barrett, 7.5 from Joe Tryon, 6.5 from Greg Gaines. Good amount there. In interceptions, 4 for Davis and Dean, 3 for David and Winfield, 2 for Neal, and then 1 for a couple players. Lots of picks, just lots of stats in general. It almost feels like we played 2 seasons or some shit. But MVP goes to Joe Burrow here. That's a somewhat realistic top 4, maybe top 6 if Russell Wilson can play like he used to. But no Buccaneers up here. That's not super surprising though. Offensive Player of the Year goes to the white boy Cooper Kupp as per usual. Chris Godwin at 7. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Nick Bosa. Vita Vea at number 3. Devin White at 7. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Jeff Ferguson of the Seahawks. No Bucks. And Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Junior Nichols of the Panthers. Rayshawn Merritt, the corner, at number 7. I was hoping he would be higher, but it is what it is. I guess he didn't really do anything, to be fair. But of course, we are taking on the Packers in the playoffs here. We're just going to simulate it out. We do have a weak link scenario here for whatever that's worth. We will go... What are we good at? I guess we're good at forcing turnovers. We got a crazy crazy amount of picks. 2+ turnovers on defense, that's doable. And then first of many, we will go play it cool, of course, you know me. No risk, no reward. I'm cool with that. But let's simulate this game out and see if we can somehow get a win. And we do, 31-28. So we will move on to the divisional round, and we'll be taking on the 11-6 San Francisco 49ers. The positive is we do have a lot of upgrades, specifically for all of our linemen. We'll take it, but I don't know why it just happened to be all of our linemen. But we have a recap for the weak link and first of many. I would guess we hit the weak link, but I don't know. Just really proud. Okay, it looks like we did hit that. +5 morale for all defensive players. I was low-key hoping for XP too, but we'll take it. And first of many, give us those sweet and juicy staff points, baby. Mikey McDingle was fucking big chillin' there. But let's simulate this game out. I honestly kind of doubt we get the win, but let's see if we can somehow win against the 49ers. And we do not. We lose 24-20, but it is what it is. It's only year 2 anyways. We still have 2 more seasons to make this team even better. In the Super Bowl, the Chiefs destroy the Falcons 35-17. We've had 2 back-to-back borderline blowout Super Bowls. That's a lot of B's in that sentence. I don't know how I feel about the Falcons going 16-1. That's not exactly an elite roster, but they don't win the Super Bowl here. We do have an upgrade for Devin White, and it looks like he got Superstar X Factor. Must have won Best Linebacker or something. Well, he was probably the NFL tackle leader. Let me check, because he had what, like 150? Yeah, that's what it was for. Tackles leader, got a good amount of XP, Superstar X Factor. I mean, tackles aren't really an important stat, but we'll take it. I won't complain. And then for re-signings, of course, Mike Evans. We're definitely not going to bring Ryan Jensen back. He's been horrid. I doubt Mike Evans re-signs, but we'll offer him 5 years, 114. Oh, and he does take it. Okay, cool. That's a lot of money, but at least we do get one of our good receivers back. Aleem McNeil, I just picked up like chilling in unsigned free agency last year, so I could re-sign him. He's interested. He's a good player. 2 years, 11.6 mil. Sounds good to me. I don't know why the Lions cut him, but fair enough. And with that, we don't have much money to work with, but let's see what we can do in free agency. And I actually want to check, are there any cuts we could make? Because we need some cap space. We have like none. I don't want to cut Chris Godwin or Shaq Barrett or really any of them. I would think about Russell Gage, but he was really good this last year, so I don't know. Well, he was only good because he was probably like our starting slot receiver, and I just forgot to change it. It depends on what's in free agency. Let's check it out real quick. And I actually want to see first, did we hit any more dev-ups this season? None on offense, it doesn't look like. I'm kind of surprised Chris Godwin didn't, but fair enough. Jamel Dean and Antoine Winfield went up to superstars, so we'll take that. And Vita Vea went up to X Factor. Ooh, maybe we should try to free up some money, because there's some studs here. I mean, there's no way, no matter what I did, that we would be able to get both of these players, but I'm kind of thinking about Nick Bosa. Well, even if we cut Russell Gage, we would still only have 21 mil. He's asking for 31.8. So honestly, I don't know if that's going to happen, unfortunately. Something I can do, though, is still cut Russell Gage, unfortunately. I know maybe not super realistic because he was good, but like I said, he was only good because of where he played. Just he was likely our slot receiver. I do maybe want to upgrade at receiver. Ooh, Laviska Shenault would be kind of fun. I'm a big Laviska Shenault fan in real life, and he would be a pretty big addition. I mean, Chris Godwin, kind of our route runner guy, Mike Evans, our possession guy, and then Laviska Shenault could be like our just run after catch type receiver. So it would create a good balance in our receiving core. Kind of a weird move to make. We could also just go for Brandon Ayuk. How much more expensive is he? I get Brandon Ayuk so much, though. That's so boring. I'm not going to do it. We'll go Laviska Shenault. Let's see if he signs. And he doesn't yet. Okay, one more, and he does sign with us. So he'll be a good third receiver. Saved us money to upgrade and get younger at receivers. So seems like a no-brainer to me. Oh yeah, wait. I do also want to check. Are there any good centers available? Nah, Ryan Jensen was the best one. We could go Nick Harris, but we have Robert Hainsey already. That isn't much of an upgrade. And then safety? We wouldn't have upgraded much there anyways. We could go Malik Hooker, but we're probably good to just wait until the draft. So speaking of that, let's get to the draft and let's see how much more we can upgrade this team. But here in the draft, we have the 27th overall pick. The Commanders have the number 1 pick, which sometimes I see them with like in the Super Bowl. So I don't know, they're a confusing team, but let's simulate to our pick and let's see what we want to do here. I did focus scout a few safeties. Do any of them look good at all though? Yeah. Ooh. For safeties, I usually just like to go with the best athlete athlete pretty much, as long as they look decent. So let's see. Jason Bonds is a good athlete, and he looks like a good player overall, so we might go with him. Tracy Carswell is maybe an even better athlete, just faster, but doesn't look quite as good. Yeah, we might just go Jason Bonds. He looks like a good player. Does have bad injury, which a lot of the time is a good thing when you obviously have injuries off, because it just means they're a player that's falling because they're hurt, not because they're bad. Most of the time. Sometimes they can be both hurt and bad, you never know. But he's 6'2", 215, 22 years old, out of Clemson. That was a lot of twos. Good speed, good strength, overall solid athlete. I like the awareness, good tackle, good pursuit, no zone coverage. Well, it's not the worst, but he's a hybrid anyways. He's gonna have better man, so that all works out. But let's take him. Jason Bonds, he does have hidden dev, so he'll just slide over to strong safety for us, and he could be our day one starter next year. I actually like that pick a lot. With the next pick, I'm thinking about Dylan Mills. He's not as strong as I was hoping he would be, but he looks like an amazing pass blocker, which we definitely need. It would be very refreshing after having Ryan Jensen allow 9 sacks each year. So I think he might have to be the pick. There are some other just good-looking linemen. I mean, maybe they're not like all A's across the board like they appear to be, but I do think Dylan Mills looks pretty good. So let's take him. He's 6'5", 297, 22 years old, out of Oklahoma. Like y'all saw, good ratings, good athleticism. Let's take him. And he has hidden dev as well. Technically a little bit of a reach because he wasn't supposed to go until, what did it say, like day 3? But I think that'll end up being worth it. And he has 69 speed. Nice. And let's see, is there another need I'm forgetting about? I mean, we could go with like a tight end or something. But I mean, nah, we're looking pretty good. Vita Vea got X Factor. I can't remember if I already noticed that or not. I'm recording this like way later in the day. Luke Godecki goes up in overall at tight end. Would this be stupid? Maybe, but it would be kind of funny. I kind of want to do it, but I'm not gonna. It wouldn't be realistic, but also it would be kind of fun. So I don't know. It's always hard to balance realism and fun in these realistic rebuilds, because I want to do the stupid shit, but then I'm like, people are gonna get mad at me. I really think we might just take a tight end here, though. I mean, to be fair, none of them really look that good. Well, Marshawn Odom looks like a good athlete, but considering he's a vertical threat, I would hope for better deep route running than a C, so maybe he's not the best, but is fast. I guess let's take him. He does have hidden dev. Okay, he could be decent. Yeah, good speed, really good agility for a tight end. Could be a solid second tight end, we'll see, but with that, let's just simulate the rest of it out, and hopefully we ended up getting some high overall players. That might be one of my best drafts in a while. Jason Bonds is a 76 overall. Obviously, we're gonna play him at strong safety. I wish he was a scheme fit there, but it is what it is. I mean, we'll take him being a 76 overall, regardless. Really good man coverage, good hit power for more of a cover safety, good pursuit, 69 play rec, nice. Dylan Mills is a 74 overall. Not the best strength in the world, but really good pass blocker, especially for a rookie that wasn't supposed to go until day 3 or whatever it said. That was an awful haircut, but fair enough. And then Marshawn Odom, a pick that I wasn't sure about, ended up being our best value pick for sure, at a 76 overall in the late 3rd round. So he's gonna be our immediate day 1 starter. We got 3 day 1 starters just from this draft when our team was already good. The CPU didn't really do much, but they did take a decent receiver, Kerry Love, who I was thinking about with the last pick. Definitely glad I went with Odom, but we got Love anyways. Not that he's really gonna do anything, but at least it was a good value pick, I guess. But with that, let's get into year number 3, potentially the final year depending on how well we do, and let's see what the team's looking like. Okay, we've had a lot of like preseason scenarios and stuff. I'll finally show one. I just don't feel like clicking record for these some of the time, but this is like the 3rd year in a row for Joe Tryon in the preseason. I've just been going play rec. What does it do if like their play rec is maxed out? Like, I'm sure it's pretty high now. It's probably close to a 90 maybe, or at least 80 something, I would guess. 87, yeah. So hopefully he can have another good year this year. We'll see. Damn, Shaq Barrett's expensive here. Well, that's not that much for like real life, but it looks like a lot for an 84 overall in Madden. I guess that's a good way to put it. Well, here's a look at the team heading into year number 3 of the rebuild. Definitely some changes here on offense. We added Laviska Shenault, we added Mills at center, we added Marshawn Odom at tight end, who I didn't even expect to be a good enough overall to be like even our second tight end, but he's gonna be our starter this year. So two new, young, good starters on offense. And then here's a look at the defense. I do want to start Bonds at safety, but outside of that, everything is the same there. I'll rearrange the specialists in a second, but they don't look too bad. I'll definitely switch some stuff around, but with that, let's get to the mid-season point of year 3. I guess we'll simulate there. I could go to the end. No, we'll get to the mid-season point. Yeah, let's simulate there and let's see how the team's doing. Sometimes year 3's kind of iffy, so we'll see what happens. Also, I just want to say really quick, we're probably going to have some banger rebuilds coming out pretty soon. I mean, we're going to have more of the fantasy draft ones, fixing the franchise, that kind of stuff, which are my best performing videos ever, so apparently y'all like them a lot. We're going to have a rebuild of whatever team DeAndre Hopkins signs to, whatever team Dalvin Cook signs to, who just got released today, or I guess will tomorrow, but it got announced that he'll get released on Friday today. I could even do the Vikings without Dalvin Cook, which might be really challenging. So if you don't already, be sure to turn on notifications so you can get notified whenever I upload those future banger rebuilds. Hell, I could even do the Broncos with Frank Clark if you want me to. Not that that's a massive one, but I could. So yeah, turn on notifications if you want to be notified whenever I do those rebuilds, whenever those players sign, and just the fantasy drafts in general, because those are a lot of fun. But okay, I'm sorry for the plug-in. I'll shut up. Let's get to the mid-season. So at the mid-season point of year 3, yeah, that's about what I expected. We're only 3 and 4. For some reason, year 3 is always really tough for rebuilds. Even if you have a good team, you just never do well. I don't know why. But oh, super quick before I do jump into the negotiations, the re-signings and all that, massive thank you for 4,500 subs. I think we gained 500 in the less than a full day. So thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to all the OG subscribers. Thank you to everybody. If you want to be an OG, you still very, very much can be one, because we're going way up. Just subscribe. I would appreciate it very much. I think I set the goal for this video to 4,500 subs, so I'm gonna have to change the intro. I mean, we were at 4K. I set the goal as 4,500. I thought that was unachievable, so maybe I'll set it as 5K. Yeah, let's see if we can get to 5,000 subs in like 300 likes. That's setting it low, but if you do it, we'll easily shatter it. So please and thank you, but I plug way too much. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say thank you, though. I appreciate it. But for re-signings here, back to the rebuild, the point of this video, we have some beefy ones here. I almost said hefty again. Tristan Wirfs is usually a monster in Madden simulation, but yeah, he's been getting better every year, it looks like. The first year was still not bad by Madden standards, but nowhere near what he usually is. But last year and this year, he is looking a little better. Let's offer him, I guess we're gonna have to do very player friendly, 7 years, 227 mil. He resigns, okay. And that knocks us down to only 66 mil after that. Chris Godwin, we definitely want back. He's been arguably the MVP of this rebuild. 5 years, 118 mil. Considering shorter deals, my brother in Christ, that was a 5-year deal and you're 28 years old. That is not a short deal. Shaq Barrett, I'll wait till the end of the year because he's gonna regress. Same with Levante David. I do want Carlton Davis back. We'll offer him like 4 years, 48 mil. He takes it. Is a good number 2 corner. And Greg Gaines, I'd rather save the money and maybe just draft a defensive lineman. David might retire. Barrett will regress. And Godwin, at the very worst, we can just like tag him. So I think we'll be good. And with that, let's get to the end of year number 3. All right, well, y'all know what this means. I'm not gonna plug again, but also I will like and subscribe if you still if you still haven't for some reason already. It'll make you an OG of the channel and it helps out a ton. But this is how the team's looking at the end of year 3. I almost said Marcus Odom. Marshawn Odom has superstar dev, so that pick keeps looking better and better. I don't know why his deep route is so bad. Like, that's the thing he should be good at, but, you know, fair enough. I guess not the thing he should be good at, but he should be good at it. And then here's a look at the defense. Bonds only has star, but that's fine. But in year number 3, we finished 9 and 8, barely squeaking into the playoffs. The Panthers are always like broken in this game. They went 12 and 5. It's a little annoying, but apparently Madden just really likes their playbooks. I don't know. But we're of course going to be taking on the Green Bay Packers in the wild card. We have a weak link scenario, a one last hurrah as well. So our defense, we might want to change the defensive playbook. It's been pretty bad. Let's go forced turnovers. I probably should have checked the stats first, which I'll do in a second. Honestly, our offense has been pretty not great too. I'm surprised we made the playoffs the last 2 years, because we've been like below average in defensive and offensive points per game, which the Buccaneers used to have a really good playbook in this game, but the more I use it, the less I like it, honestly. But okay, that's what I figured. here. The one last hurrah is for Lavonte David. Also, does he still have like a Browns bandana on? It wouldn't surprise me. No, it says Buccaneers, but it looks orange. I don't know. Either way, let's check out some of the season stats. It looks like Baker Mayfield was really good this year. 4,800 yards, 41 touchdowns. The picks are still a little high, but it is what it is. Those are just going to be there no matter what. A little bit better completion percentage this year. Overall, a good year. Tony Pollard didn't reach 1,000 yards, but it's not a very run-heavy system anyways. 10 touchdowns. Receiving, Chris Godwin, almost 2,000 yards, 18 touchdowns. Outside of him, we didn't have much. Odom as a rookie, almost 700 yards, 6 touchdowns. Ooh, okay. Dylan Mills, that's the worst center season I've ever seen, and he's supposed to be a pass blocker. Madden just hates realism. I feel like if a player's a good run blocker, they'll be a good pass blocker. If they're a good pass blocker, they'll be a horrible pass blocker. Like, I don't understand it. But on defense, Devin White once again led the team in tackles. Tackles for loss, 21 for Kancey, 17 for Vea. It looks like sacks were down this year, 9 for Vea, 9 for Joe Tryon, only 5 for Shaquille Barrett, only 3 for Kancey. Interceptions, that should be defensive rookie of the year. Jason Bonds with 7 interceptions. That's one of the highest amounts I've seen in this game. And then 3 for White and David, 2 for Merritt and Dean. Like I was saying before, these playbooks just produce numbers. Whether they're good or not, it seems like every number is inflated. MVP goes to Dak Prescott, Mac Jones at number 2, Russell. That's an elite top 3. Goddamn. Baker Mayfield does make it at number 9. Offensive player of the year goes to the white boy Cooper Kupp, as per usual. Chris Godwin at number 2. Wish he could have won it, but it is what it is. Cooper Kupp probably did hit 2,000 yards, knowing how good he is in this game for whatever. I mean, he's good in real life, obviously, but he literally had like his peak season in real life. He does that pretty much every year here. I don't know why. Offensive rookie of the year goes to Jason Woodard of the Communists. Marshawn Odom at number 6. Defensive rookie of the year does go to Jason Bonds, so we'll definitely take that. At least we're winning an award. But with that, let's jump in here against the Packers and let's see if we can somehow get a win. All right, well, here we go in the wild card against the Green Bay Packers. We'll see if we can get a win here. Madden Simulation doesn't like us very much, but we will try our best, maybe. I don't know if the offensive line will, but I guess we'll find out. We go up early 3-0. They do score. It's only a field goal for them, though. We do get a touchdown. We're up 10-5. They got a safety, now a field goal. We're up by 2, but we do get a touchdown. We're up 17-8, which is a cursed score. They get a touchdown. We're still up by 2, though, and they get a field goal, so that safety did end up mattering as we lose to a worse team. Who would have guessed? You know, I didn't know this, but someone told me your quarterback does affect your offensive line, which does make sense. I mean, that was the thing that pissed me off about Russell Wilson. He would just kind of run into sacks a lot of the time. That was like the one really bad thing that he did when he was in Seattle. I've mentioned Russell Wilson probably 40 times in this video. I don't know why. Maybe I just have a crush on him. I don't fucking know. But no, it makes sense. Like, certain quarterbacks just get sacked more often. So maybe Baker Mayfield is one of those in this game that's just more oblivious to pressure, or just maybe runs himself into sacks, I guess. I don't know. Could be, because we have an overall really good offensive line. But with that, let's get into the offseason and let's hopefully have a good year number 4. That's weird. In the Super Bowl, the Chargers take down the Rams 31-28. That Super Bowl happened in my Fixing the Rams fantasy draft rebuild. But we were the Rams and we did end up winning it. It's just notable because it's, you know, the Battle of LA, both LA teams. But the Chargers do end up winning this one 31-28. I don't know about that one in real life, but you never know. We have 3 upgrades here for Jason Bonds, though. We will definitely take that, as he is now up to an 82 overall with Superstar Dev. We absolutely knocked the last draft out of the park, except for the center, but I didn't think he would play so terribly. But of course, for re-signings, we still have to re-sign Chris Godwin. He said he wanted more years, I guess, so we'll try 6 years, 142, which is a big contract, and he does take it, thankfully. So we get probably our MVP of the rebuild back. It does look like Lavonte David retired, but we expected that. We still have to try to get Shaq Barrett back. We'll offer him just neutral, I guess. We can afford to go player friendly. We'll try 3 years, 27 mil, and he takes it. Wasn't good this last year, but every other year he's been good, so it's good to get him back. And of course, I do want to change the defensive playbook. What's a good one? I feel like a lot of these are bad. I feel like I shouldn't use some of these. We could try the Jags, but it's the Jags. I don't know if I trust it, but it would be hard to be worse than our defense has been with how good the overall is. Those are some famous last words. We're gonna be like 32nd in the NFL on defense. And I mean, on paper, our defense hasn't been awful, but we've been like 24th or lower in scoring, in points allowed. So like, I don't know, I think it's time to switch it up. I'm half tempted to switch the offensive playbook too, but I don't know, it used to be so good. I just feel like it wouldn't be a good move. But with that, let's see what we can do in free agency. Ooh, do we try something crazy? Trey Lance and Justin Fields are both available. That could be kind of fun. I don't know, Baker was pretty good this last year though. I would feel bad replacing him now. If it was the year before where he wasn't doing like amazing, then maybe. But now, I don't know, he was pretty good last year. Although I feel like the offensive line playing poorly was his fault. So I don't know. There are some weird players with high dev traits here. Avonte Maddox has superstar dev. Richie Grant has superstar dev. I feel like I've never seen that. But here are the players we're going to go for heading into year 4. It's going to be JC Horn, Daron Payne, and Ernest Jones. We didn't have much money left over to offer JC Horn, but we'll try that. Honestly, hold on. I'm going to try something. I want to free up a little cap because I do kind of want JC Horn. I'm not going to lie. We were literally 32nd in pass defense last year. It should be better with the new defensive playbook, but I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say this group of players would create the worst pass defense in the NFL. So let's just try to beef it up even more. Okay, so we do have at least a green offer for JC Horn. We're tied for the lead for Daron Payne. However, we're one of 4 teams that are very interested, so we'll see what happens. If not, Ed Oliver is also there and he is interested, but I mean, he'll probably sign this week with some team, honestly. So we'll see what happens. And then Ernest Jones, we do have the lead for him. The Broncos are also interested, but we have the lead. He has star dev here, so that would definitely be a nice addition. But let's see if either of these 3 players sign. The top 2 do sign. Ernest Jones does not sign yet. And we do get JC Horn and Daron Payne, so our defense should be looking really good. And then Ernest Jones, we still do have the lead. Let's see if he just signs now. Still doesn't sign, but we still have the lead. Will he sign now? He does sign, and we do get him. He just waited a long ass time, but we do get him eventually, so we'll take it. And now the defense is looking really, really nice. Well, we have a crazy trade here. It's going to be Mike Evans, our first round pick this year, and Luke Godecki to the Texans for Will Anderson, a 2 and a 3. Now, let me explain myself. Mike Evans is older, he's expensive, and we really haven't been using him that much. I mean, this last year, he only had like 800 yards or 700 and something. Chris Godwin's been getting the bulk of the catches anyways. And Shaq Barrett was pretty not great last year, so we'll see what we can get from Will Anderson. I just wanted an excuse to trade away our first round pick, to be honest, because I don't really know what to do with it. I mean, we just really didn't have many needs at all. And then I put in Luke Godecki just because for some reason it was saying we didn't have the cap space, even though it said we had like 13 mil and the Texans had like 140, so I don't know who it was talking about. But this seems like a pretty fair trade for both sides. I mean, maybe things just went wrong with Will Anderson, which wouldn't surprise me knowing the Texans in their history with players wanting out, plus he's in a contract year. So I think this makes sense for both sides. Plus the Texans' number 1 receiver was, well, he has X Factor, but 78 overall, 33-year-old Robert Woods. Not ideal. And we'll probably draft a receiver, but honestly, we have Trey Palmer. He could honestly play, or we could trade for one with some of those picks. Why do we have -7 mil now? What? Okay, so maybe we won't be trading for a receiver. All right, well, with that, let's get into the draft and let's finish this team off. Like your mother finishes me off. What? I did make QB the focus position, and there is one good-looking QB, Christopher McDermott, but he's probably going to go close to the top 10, so I don't think we would have been able to get him anyways. There are some just good-looking players in general here, this tight end, this receiver, but I think most of them would have gone too high for us to get. This guy might be crazy. Ooh, Connor Bridge. Well, his power might not be good. No, it definitely isn't, but could be a good player. But let's simulate to our pick in the second round. Let's see what we want to do. Are you serious? Well, there goes the guy 1 pick before us to the 49ers. That's great. Definitely my favorite team. Ooh, this guy's confusing. 38 reps, 39 at his pro day, but D power for both run and pass blocking. That doesn't make much sense, but he looks like a good player. We might start him at center because that one we drafted last year was horrible. So yeah, that might be the move. All right, Brad Batten. He's 6'5", 326, 23 years old, left-handed just like me for real, out of Louisville. Let's take him. And he does have hidden dev, 92 strength, 69 speed. Nice. Oh, and we picked just 3 picks later. I guess this is probably the pick from the Texans, or the other one was. I don't know. One of them was. Ooh, whoa, wait. That's probably C man coverage. I feel like the A is a complete lie, and we really don't need need a corner at all. This D lineman looks maybe good. Brian Boone, he's not as strong as I was hoping he would be. Does have good tackle, block shed, play rec. Yeah, let's take him. Brian Boone, he's 6'4", 317, 22 years old, out of Ohio State. Looks like a good run defender, probably no pass rush to his game, but let's take him. Normal dev, unfortunately. Could be a decent overall though, we'll see. And with that, I don't really know what else to do. Maybe I'll take a receiver. I might just trade for one at the beginning of next year though. Ooh, this Pat Bright guy has 4.26 speed. His ratings don't look very good though, at all. I'm going to take back-to-back receivers. I'm not going to show the other one, but Pat Bright looks maybe good, but probably not. But we might as well take a chance. 5'10", 184, 21 years old, out of Charleston Southern. You know, the super well-known school, Charleston Southern. I really have never even heard of that before. Let's take him. He does have hidden dev, pretty good speed, so he might be a good little player. We'll see. Overall, we had a pretty decent draft, I guess. I mean, we didn't get any starters, but that was the whole point of like trading our first round pick away. I kind of knew we weren't going to get any starters or it would be really hard to. Brad Batten's a 73 overall. Brian Boone's a 74. Did go up to a 76 at defensive tackle. We might move him there. We'll see. Pat Bright's a 69. He did have hidden dev, which is nice. Angelo Batten, the other receiver I wanted to go with, is a 70 overall, but only normal dev, so meh. And then I took this tackle and then I just simulated the rest out. So meh draft. Not my best, not my worst, but we didn't even really need to have a good draft anyways. I mean, it always helps, but it also wouldn't have really helped for this year. All right, well, here's a look at the team heading into the fourth and final year of the rebuild. The offense is looking very good. We literally have all dev traits. There isn't a starter without one. Now, will they play well is a different question. Baker was obviously really good last year, but the line was horrible. We'll see what happens there. Chris Godwin's been a stud. I think Trey Palmer can step in and do pretty well. I'm surprised he's developed so much. He's just been a backup, but for some reason he's up to a 76 overall, 77 with morale. We'll take that though. No more Mike Evans here, obviously. And then on defense, we obviously just traded for Will Anderson, signed Ernest Jones, signed Daron Payne, signed JC Horn, made some big additions here. Really, it's not many, well, no, I guess I can't say that. I was gonna say it's not many Bucks players starting left. That sentence didn't make sense. It's not many actual, like, real life Bucks players starting here on defense, but there are definitely a few. Just definitely a lot of changes here. But I think they were all good changes. So with that, let's get to the end of year number 4 and let's see how this team can do. All right, well, here we are at the end of year number 4 and here's a look at the team. Y'all know why we're here. Wasn't the best year ever, but it was a decent enough year. But if you for some reason haven't already, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. Of course, helps out a ton. We'll make you an OG. 5,000 subs, 300 likes or whatever I set it to, and I will be very happy and I'll make another one of these, or actually a fantasy draft rebuild on Sunday. But of course, the team is looking very nice. Baker playing up to a 78 with morale. We actually have Tony Pollard up to a 93 with morale. The team in general is looking good. And then here's a look at the defense. A lot of yellows and reds there, which we love to see. But in year number 4, we barely snuck into the playoffs going 10-7. Now, at least we made them, but we should have been a lot better than we were. We did have the 10th best offense and the 7th best defense. I almost wonder if a different offensive playbook would be better, but I don't want to mess with it. We at least made the playoffs, so we'll just leave it. But next time I do this team, we might try a different offensive playbook because it doesn't seem as good anymore. Baker had a good year though, 4,800 yards, 36 touchdowns, 13 picks. Tony Pollard with almost 1,100 yards, 11 touchdowns. Chris Godwin, not his best year, but definitely a very good one, 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns. Trey Palmer was good. Marshawn Odom was really good, and Laviska Shenault was pretty decent. So good receiving numbers there. The blocking was better. Dylan Mills was still pretty bad, but better. Farmer wasn't great. Van Buren wasn't great, but Wirfs and Malk were really good. Devin White led the team in tackles once again. Tackles for loss, we had a good amount, with Will Anderson and Daron Payne tying for 13. In sacks, we had 13.5 for Will Anderson. Definitely a good trade there. 11.5 from Vita Vea, 11 from Joe Tryon. Interceptions, 4 for Bonds and Horn, 3 for Davis, 2 for Dean, and then 1 for a few players. So really good looking year in terms of stats. I'm really surprised we only went 10-7. Lamar Jackson wins MVP here, and when did his face get fixed? I just saw him like 5 seconds ago and he still had his old face, unless it shows his regular one here. I don't know, but that's kind of depressing. Trey Lance at number 2. I was thinking about signing him and I didn't. Maybe I should have. Oops. I don't know if he would have been the same here as he was on the Rams, but maybe. Baker does come in at number 8, so not too bad. There's Justin Fields too, but Baker scored higher. Offensive Player of the Year goes to the white boy Cooper Kupp as per usual. Chris Godwin at 3. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Aaron Donald. Will Anderson at number 6. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Aiden Keaton of the Giants. The top 2 players have the same face. That's a little scary. Pat Bright, the rookie receiver, at number 7. And Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to John Cole. That's such a boring name, but he plays for the Washington Communists. I don't think we'll have any Buccaneers up here, no. But definitely a solid season for us, as we'll be taking on the 9-8, 82 overall Detroit Lions in the wild card. What's our team overall now? I think it said 89. Yeah, 89. This team is really good. It would be even better if Baker was up to a decent overall now, because he's played pretty well. It just hasn't really given him a good overall. So this is definitely a really good roster, even though it's not playing as well as it should. But with that, let's jump in here against the Lions, and let's see if we can somehow get a playoff win. Our first of the rebuild, I'm pretty sure. No, maybe we did like year 1, but we weren't jumping in then. So does it really count? I don't know. But here we go in the wild card against the Lions, of course, in Detroit. Apparently they won their division at 9-8, which is a little depressing. But let's simulate this game out and see if we can somehow get a win. We get a what's with the safeties? We got a safety. We're up 9-0. Now 12-0. That's a weird score. The Lions are still scoreless. They do kick a field goal literally as I say that, but we get a touchdown. We're up 20-3. They get another field goal. We're up 20-6, 23-6 now. They do get a touchdown to make it 23-13, but we get another one to make it 30-13, and that's going to be the final score. We absolutely crush them. But I don't think we had any scenarios, did we? No scenarios. So we easily move past the wild card, and let's see who we're going to be taking on in the divisional. The 12-5 Atlanta Falcons. They're a pretty broken team too, just like the Panthers. So this might not be easy. Maybe I should try their offensive playbook sometime, because they're 3rd in offensive points per game. Their defense was pretty decent too. That's definitely something to think about. Also, I didn't even realize we have a 92 overall defense. I feel like I've had better defenses, but apparently this one's amazing. We only have like 3 players over a 92 overall, so I don't understand the Madden overall system, but it is what it is. But let's jump in against the Falcons, our division rivals, and let's see if we can get a win. Also, I don't know if it's just me, but it's weird that the Bucs and Falcons are division rivals. I don't know why. Like some teams, like the Packers, like I think of them being rivals of like the Bears and Lions and all those teams in their division, but for some reason I don't think of the Bucs and Falcons together. I don't know why. Either way, enough of my stupid rambling. Let's see if we can take down the Falcons in the divisional. They do go up early 7-0, but we do get a field goal. It is now 7-3 Atlanta. They get a field goal to make it 10-3, but we get a touchdown to tie it at 10 heading into the 3rd quarter. They get a touchdown to make it 17-10, but we tied up at 17. We take the lead 24-17, but they tie it up. This is a really close game. Nobody's really pulling ahead as we get a field goal in the 4th quarter to get the win. I really didn't think we would win that, but I will definitely take it. Oh, they had Justin Fields. I forgot about that. That's kind of fun. Ooh, Arthur Smith would do some crazy shit with Justin Fields. I low-key hope that happens in real life. Well, I hope they get a fast QB in general. I think Arthur Smith is really good. I think that would be pretty fun, although he for some reason doesn't really know how to use Kyle Pitts, so maybe he's not as good as I think. I don't know. Either way, let's see who we're going to be taking on in the conference championship. It's going to be the only 9-8 Philadelphia Eagles. They do have a good team though at an 85 overall, but we're a lot better and we have the home game, so we'll probably lose. They do have a better offense than us, but not in terms of like yards or scoring or anything, just in terms of overall. But let's jump in here against the Eagles and let's see if we can move on to the Super Bowl. All right, here we go in the conference championship, our first home game of the playoffs, a night game here, and let's see if we can get a win. We go up early 7-0 over the Eagles, make that 14-0, now 21-0. We are destroying them. Still scoreless for the Eagles as we head into half, now 28-0, 35-0. They do finally get a touchdown to make it 35-7, now 35-14, but we get another field goal, another touchdown, and the final score is going to be 45-21. We absolutely dominated the Eagles. Eagles, as we're going to be moving on to the Super Bowl. But let's see who we're going to be taking on in the Super Bowl. It's going to be the New York Jets. That would be kind of fun if we still had Tom Brady here. Would get to smack the Jets one more time. How the hell are the Jets in the Super Bowl? They have an 81 overall team, and they somehow went 12-5 and made the Super Bowl. I don't understand that. They still have Aaron Rodgers. I'm surprised they're only an 81 because they definitely have really good players. Yeah, wait, how is this team only an 81 overall? I feel like that's wrong. I guess they have a bad linebacker, which we had Jerome Rice at one point, but we cut him. I don't know. I don't understand why this team is such a low overall, but we do clearly have the better team regardless. We have a Super Bowl media day scenario here super quick before we jump in, but let's go. This is everything. I mean, this is the last year. If we don't win it, we don't win a Super Bowl. 10 easy staff points. I don't even know if we're going to be able to spend those. Probably not, but let's jump in here against the Jets and let's see if we can get a win. But here we go in the Super Bowl against the New York Jets, probably Super Bowl 60 or 61 at this point, but let's simulate this game out and hopefully we can get a win. We go up early 7-0. The Jets are driving and they do kick a field goal. They're driving again. They go up 10-7. We kick a field goal to tie it, but they get a touchdown to make it 17-10. Our offense just isn't doing much today. They go up 24-10 now. We do get a field goal, but no extra point. We do get a touchdown to make it 29-24. They score in the fourth quarter, and that's going to be a painful 1-point loss in the Super Bowl, which we would have at least tied if we just made an extra point. That is pain. But of course, that's going to be the end of today's rebuild. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. If you want to see more videos, more bangers from yours truly, just like this one. Of course, it'll make you an OG of the channel too. And let me know what team you want me to do next for a shout out whenever I pick your comment, which I get all my rebuild ideas from comments, so eventually I'll probably pick it, especially if you harass me multiple times like some people do. But thank you all so much. If you made it all the way to the end, you're a true GOAT. I appreciate it a ton. And with that, I'll see y'all again in the next video. Goodbye.